Good morning, first grade. Today for science, as we look at the rainforest, we're going to take a look at the sloth. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Mrs. Friedrichs, we already learned about the sloth. We took a look at a little paragraph, and we did some writing, and we told you what we liked about the sloth and things we wanted to remember. And I would say, yep, you're right, we did. But I have this book that I want to get through with you today, entitled I Am a Sloth, just like the ones that we did last week with the dart frog and the jaguar. So we are going to be going through this morning. So what you'll need is you'll need your pencil, and then you will also need to have your yellow crayon, because remember we use that as our highlighter. Okay, so I am a sloth. Please go ahead and make sure, try a different pen. Please go ahead and make sure that your name is on your booklet. Okay, and then I would like you please to go ahead and turn to the first page. Now, as we're reading this, I would like you please to make sure that you're following along. Follow along with your pointer finger, follow along with the back end of a pencil, whatever works out for you. Okay, I'm going to use the back end of a pencil today as I show you how to follow along that way. And let's begin. Hi there. I hope you are not in a hurry, because I do everything very slowly. In fact, I am the slowest animal on earth. I am about the size of a medium dog, and I have a flat face. My fur is brown or gray, but it might look kind of green because algae grows on it. Gross, I know. But it helps me blend in with the trees so predators like jaguars can't find me. I also have really long claws. My claws help me hang from tree branches. Remember this word predators? I'd like you to please go ahead and put a box around it. Predators is a big word that we've been learning about when talking with the rainforest. Remember that predators are other animals, or it could even be people, that want to get that animal, to kill it, to eat it. So those would be predators. So remember the jaguar, when we learned about the jaguar last week, what did the jaguar like to eat? One of the things that we learned that the jaguar likes to eat happens to be sloths, right? Okay, so that's that word predators. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Now today, it wants us to do some writing. What are 2 things you learned about a sloth's body? Now we're still going to go ahead and use our yellow crayon to highlight some things about the sloth's body, because that will help us in our writing. Okay, so what did we learn about the sloth's body? We learned that it's the size of a medium dog. So you go ahead and highlight size of a medium dog. And we also learned that it has a flat face. Okay, those are 2 different things we've already learned. Size of a medium dog, has a flat face, so doesn't have things protruding like we do on our face. Our nose sticks out from the rest of our face, right? Our ears do too, and even our chin sticks out a little bit, but not the sloth. Okay, and then what else did we learn? My fur is brown or gray. Fur is brown or gray. But it might look kind of green because algae grows on it. So algae grows on his fur. Okay, and the other thing we learned, hopefully you're already thinking about it, the claws. Really long claws. And why is that helpful? Helps them hang from the tree branches, because they really like hanging from tree branches. I'm going to put the word why. Okay, and put it here too. Why? Why do they have really long claws? Here was your answer to that question. The claws help me hang from tree branches. So you're welcome to underline that if that will help you to remember. So now, what are two things you learned about a sloth's body? Well, we could say the sloth's body. A sloth is the size of a medium dog. The sloth is the size, or you could actually you could write same size. Same size as a medium dog. You'll notice that I started my sentence with a capital letter, and I did have an end mark at the end. The sloth is the same size as a medium dog. What else did you learn? Okay, if you had something else that you wanted to put, that's okay. You can put it. Just put it in a complete sentence for me. Maybe you want to say something about the algae that grows on the sloth. The sloth's fur. Ooh, the fur belongs to the sloth. You guys, that is one of our possessive, that's a possessive noun. Oh my goodness. We just learned about that in grammar today. The sloth's fur has algae. Oh, I don't remember how to spell algae. I better go back. A-L-G-A-E. A-L-G-A-E. The sloth's fur has algae grow on it. The sloth's fur has algae grow on it. It's because it moves so slow. Okay, so the sloth's fur has algae grow on it. If you wanted to talk about the claws, you could definitely talk about the claws. If you wanted to talk about the color of the fur, being brown or gray, you could do that. Those are other options for you. Okay? If you need to pause to get that written or to finish writing whatever you wanted to put, things you learned about a sloth's body, you go ahead and you pause. And when you're done, go ahead and push play. The next part says, I'm starving. I think I am going to grab some tasty leaves. Do you want to join me? While I mostly eat leaves, sometimes I eat insects, so I am an omnivore. I eat a lot. I'm going to put a box around omnivore. We're going to go back and figure out what that means when we're done reading. I eat a lot. In fact, I eat almost the whole time I am awake, which is at night. I am nocturnal. Box the word nocturnal. I am awake at night. Nocturnal. Awake at night, which means sleeping during the day. I only have to go to the bathroom about once a week. I climb down to the forest floor to go. My long claws make it hard for me to walk on the ground, so I climb back into the trees right away. Okay, I had you box the word omnivore. If you are an omnivore, you eat leaves, plants, but you also sometimes are going to eat insects or meat. So if you're an omnivore, you're going to eat everything. So mostly eats leaves, the sloth does, but sometimes eats insects, so that's why we can call him an omnivore. Oh, and interesting enough, it says, what do you think the word omnivore means? Highlight the text evidence you use to figure out the meaning of the word. Wow, first grade. Well, we already were on top of it because we were asking ourselves the questions and going back to find the answer. So, omnivore. You can now highlight omnivore because that's what we're talking about. And what do we know about an omnivore? Mostly eat leaves, sometimes eats insects. Okay, make sure that that gets highlighted. Okay, mostly eat leaves, sometimes they eat insects, so we know that that is an omnivore. So now the question was, what do you think the word omnivore means? So omnivore means eats plants and animals or insects. Omnivore means eats plants and animals or insects. Okay, it's going to for sure eat plants, and then it's either going to eat animals or insects. So omnivore means to eat animals or insects and plants. Okay, if you still need more time to write that out, you go ahead and pause, and we're going to keep moving on. We want to finish learning about the sloth today. We're going to follow along. I will this time use my finger to follow along so you see just another way to do this, to be able to read and follow along. I live in rainforests. There are so many trees there. I spend most of my life hanging from the trees in the canopy layer. I even sleep hanging from branches. I am safer up there from predators who want to eat me. The trees also give me my favorite food, leaves. However, I sometimes let go of my branch and drop into a river on the forest floor. I love to swim. Did you know I am a good swimmer? Okay, so what did we learn? Where do the sloths like to stay? We learned that they like to stay hanging from the trees in the canopy layer. Okay, it's safer up in the canopy. Okay, what layer of the rainforest does the sloth spend most of his time? Highlight your text evidence. The emergent layer, the canopy, the understory, or the forest floor. And what might a sloth do on the forest floor? Highlight your text evidence. Okay, so first, what layer of the rainforest does the sloth spend most of his time? What did it say? I live in rainforests. There are so many trees there. I spend most of my life hanging from the trees in the canopy layer. So, where does the sloth spend most of his time? In the canopy. You could put an X. You could have done a smiley. You could have put a check mark, whichever you wanted to do to show that. Now we have to highlight our text evidence. So grab out your yellow crayon. I spend most of my life hanging from the trees in the canopy layer. Go ahead and make sure that that is highlighted. Then, what might a sloth do on the forest floor? Highlight your evidence. I'm safer up there from predators. The trees give me my favorite food, leaves. Sometimes I let go of my branch and drop into a river on the forest floor. I love to swim. Did you know I'm a good swimmer? I drop into a river on the forest floor. I love to swim. Go ahead and highlight that text evidence. We're going to need that. I let go of my branch. I drop into a river on the forest floor. I love to swim. Now, what might a sloth do on the forest floor? Go swimming, of course. Yeah, go swimming. They love to swim, and they're good at it. Okay, go swimming. Now, when you are done with this part of it, you can go back ahead and color everything in. Make sure that your sloth is the correct color. Remember, brown or gray. Maybe add a little titch of green in it because of the algae. You could even highlight green. Might look kind of green because algae grows on it. Okay, you could highlight that whole piece of it. And then when you're done, even do the front cover too. Don't forget about the front cover. When you're done, please go ahead and make sure that this goes into your Monday folder. And tomorrow, come back and learn about another animal of the rainforest.